Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
Yes!
Dad, I'm hungry.
G'day humans, Chris Stead here. I'm on the road. Today I've been at the TreeTop Challenge at Mount Tamborine in the Thunderbird Park. Now, we've just got off this, we've been on it. I got on there with a 9 o'clock start and we just got off about, what was it, about 1:30, so that's how long we've been on it for. And I'm pretty physically drained and tired, but boy, what an experience. It is such a good course, such a fun time up there. Now, the prices at the moment, as of the start of 2023, you're looking at $55 for a kid, $65 for an adult. There's a family pass at $220, that's 2 adults and 2 kids. And there's a junior ticket, which is people kind of under 160 centimetres, which is $35, and it's kind of a junior course on the ground. Now, we didn't do the junior course. All of us did the adult course, or the full course. My youngest, he's 7. Now, his reach was right on the tip. And when they got here, they had a look at him, decided he was a pretty athletic, sporty type, and from that went, okay, we think he can do it. So we promoted him up to the adult course. Behind us you can see the green course, which is the very start of things, and it disappears way back up into the mountain there. Now they've got 5 different kind of tiered colours. There's green, and it goes purple, red, blue, black. But there's a couple of variations of red and green and purple. And so you can kind of just keep going up as far as you want. Now, one of the things I've really loved about the way they've handled this place is that once you kind of line up here and you do a briefing at the start, and there's a lot of information. It's actually quite a lot to take in. And you're thinking to yourself, how am I going to remember this? I'm going to end up falling off and something bad's going to happen. But as soon as you start going, it all comes to you pretty quick and it's pretty obvious. Once you pass this bridge and once you're gone, you are free to just do whatever you want. You don't have to do them in order, you don't have to do them in a row, you don't have to do them in a set amount of time. You're just up there until you can no longer go, or just don't want to go anymore. So that kind of like just freedom and lack of pressure, I found really, really great. And even though I'm doing this in the middle of January in the school holidays, it's the Queensland and the New South Wales school holidays, like it's peak as peak season gets basically. The crowd's been fine. Like at the start here, there was probably maybe a total of maybe 15 of us on each of these sides. We split up and went different ways and went into the mountain. Once we got up the mountain there, it was pretty good. Like my oldest, he just took straight off. Like by the time we got to there, I couldn't see him anymore. And he was gone, and by the time we caught up with him about an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, he'd already done the black course and done this and done that and had a great ball. The other 2 found it a bit more challenging, and that's going to be, I guess, down to you as the individual and how well you know your kids. The advice that we got when we first got here was that we should skip green, because green starts with a zip line, and go to purple, and purple starts on the ground, and you ease your way up, and then you do a zip line. And then when we got to the next guy, and the next guy was like, no, I reckon you should do green first, because once you've done the zip line, that's the hardest bit. You've done it, and then you can just breeze through everything else. Now, every kid's different. For me and my children, I think it was the purple first would have been a much better way to go. As it was, we got hit on green, they got up, they freaked out, they had to come back down, they went around to purple, they did purple, and later came back and even did green. So I think that might be something worth considering if yourself or your child is sketching out a little bit. Now, in terms of sketching out, it can happen. We had a moment where me, my daughter, and my youngest son were on the red 1 course, and we got to the furthest possible part really, and my youngest couldn't reach the Y that he wanted to reach. Now, he didn't have to, he could have held onto the rope that's on your harness, and he could have gone ahead, but by that stage the fear had struck him and we had to reverse all the way back out through 4 people. It probably took about 20 minutes, half an hour. Now, the process itself is a bit painful, but the staff are really, really good, really, really patient, we're really quick to act and did all that they could. And also the other people who were doing it with us were really empathetic. And I think that's pretty key to having a good time here. If you're going to come here and you're going to be in a real rush and you're like, I've only got an hour and I've got to get as much done as possible, or if you're just not a patient person, That may be something that's actually going to really irritate you here, is that there's going to be moments where you just have to sit and wait, and someone ahead of you is going to freak out, and you're just going to have to go, well, you know, I'm going to have to spend the next 5 minutes just hanging out. But there are other parts, especially around that kind of midday mark, where at least half, if not 2/3 of the people who were with it at the start had already gone back, where you could just shoot up anything you wanted and there was no wait, no nothing, you wouldn't even see another person. So that's something to consider as well. But ultimately, it's safe as houses. You can just sit in the harness. The actual zip lines are a real thrill, and it's just a serious workout. So just expect to really use your arm muscles, your shoulders, your core. I'm going to be hurting tonight, there's no doubt about it. The feeling I have right now is similar to a feeling like after you just hiked up a hill on a hot day, you know, like 5 or 6 hour hike up there, and at the end you're just like, wow, you know, I feel great, that was awesome, but geez, you know, I've had a big workout. So that's how you can expect to feel. But yeah, I say absolutely go for it. I think it's a really good value for money. I think you have a really, really good time. They've done a really good job with it, and everything about it is great. And everything about this entire Thunderbird Park actually has got a lot going for it. But the TreeTop Challenge, I can understand why it's won so many awards. I had a great time. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chris Stead. As for me, back on the road.